Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's
Niggas and
going on?
niggas. Welcome to Sex Ed Zone.
That's bad 101.
That's a motherfucking fact, you know. Salute to Professor Jazz, man. I appreciate her spending the time, building and creating this space where we do what the fuck we do, man. Salute to Professor Jazz, man. I just want to give a salute to Professor
Because
Jazz.
without you, we wouldn't have this right now.
That's a fact, Let's let these, people know what we got going on tonight. What you got going on tonight?
Going on tonight, just relaxing. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this tonight. Open
Hmm.
podcast. Tonight we do some sex ed.
Come on with it.
And our
Come on with it.
and our topic is gender identity.
Mhm. I feel like it's so much that's been going on today recently with this type shit, man. You know, um, it's just crazy. You know, um, Now they got the bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Now they got the fucking um, they have to be in the sports like academically. Like I just seen this girl who got fucked up by this trans woman or something. And I want to be respectful of whoever's doing whatever they're doing. Um, and I seen a lot of stuff in the news recently, and I just had this idea, man. I'm just like, what's up with the gender identity crisis today, right now? So I was like, let's build on this shit. Like, what exactly has caused this gender crisis, for one, and how does it incorporate in our lives as far as like people who are living different lives, but you may have to work with somebody, they may be trying to teach this in your, kids' school or something about, you know, transgenderism and, all this other different shit. It's even the arguments right now that are going really crazy about, are trans women just as good as, women, or can they replace women, or is that even the goal? You know what I mean? So, you feel me? I just, man, it's a crazy topic, bro.
I mean, things have been changing, and it's more exposed now compared to
Right.
what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
That's
Uh,
a fact.
right now, it's more where social media makes it really easy for everyone to go ahead and be themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
we're really actually exposing our children to the media, YouTube, any other social media platform. They have easy access. So, I mean, a lot of parents get upset because of what's being taught at school. Sometimes they don't agree with it. But then we ourselves as parents need to teach our children because
Right.
we're not going to go ahead and let social media, anything on TV or iPad or anything like that, to go ahead and make my child's choice and what kind of identity they should be relating to. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something where, you know, it's being overexposed maybe in a way where we're not educating our children as well to, actually make a better choice and things instead of just following what people say, their friends, or what social media thinks, stuff like that.
exactly. Um, the kids is a big part of it. I mean, like, that's one of the things that's the fucked up part about it right now. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the shit that's happening in the school system with the shit, but you can have people that's in school with you and shit, and you can have work, people at work, and you kind of have to be more aware that those people do exist and not um, contribute to more problems that I guess they could experience, like treating them weird, different, or you just all type of shit where that they have valid points about certain shit where they may not feel included about certain shit. They feel like outsider shit like that, and the reasons could be a million different reasons. But just to say it generally, like there's a social awareness that has to happen now because not even people if they're trans or something, what if people be called it or they or you feel
Right.
me or like or us and shit. You feel me? Which I don't got no problem with. But like I think it was the one situation where I was having a conversation with this girl and it really just made me start thinking because the girl wasn't trans or anything like that and I guess she was bisexual or was gay, but you really couldn't tell. She just was like a girl. And it is what it is with that. Like they fuck whenever they want to fuck too. So all that I only fuck girl shit be it. I don't know. It is what it is. Everybody got different experiences, but mine is you damn near fucking whenever you want to be fucking. And it may not be this, this year where you might wait a few years, but when the time is crack, it's time to crack. You know what I'm saying? But some bitches be fucking and acting like they lesbians the whole time, and acting like they ain't doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's a
Or
whole
when you
nother
just
thing.
curious and being a
Like bi
lesbian, how
curious.
can you tell? I mean, you be curious that you be attracted to someone, but would you act
Of
upon it?
course.
Then that's a different,
Mm.
and so now people are more into thinking they're not just um, a man or a woman, but they could go ahead a male that transform into a female and falls in love with a woman that turned into a male. So there's different
Mm.
types of relationships, different types of now where it does make it where how do you raise your kids in this? How do you teach them
Right.
where okay, so follow what's going on there because no matter
So,
what we
like
let TV and media kind of you know like make our kids choices sometimes because of what they
right,
see
right,
what they're
right.
exposed.
And that's why it's dangerous. Is like it's just they go to school and they learn about it's and she's and days and stuff, and then they have to start learning that and think about. No one should be thinking about that at 8 years old. You know what I mean? No one cares about that shit. You know, and we shouldn't be trying to make that a thing for them. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't be trying to do that. And I feel like that is
Well, they're
like,
trying
um,
to
you
educate
know,
at a young age.
I think it's just silly because when you young, you going to school. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. They have to be more socially aware about what's going on with their life because they might not get a chance to have a childhood the way we had it, where it wasn't so many things, bombarding them with, social constructs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just I don't
Yeah.
know the way things are. You know.
Well, yeah. Back then, they used to just say "bless you." But it's just
Mm,
you know the boys go in one class and the girls go in another. But now it's different where you know how young is too young to teach them about sex education. They wanted to at some
mm,
point here. I know in this year they
right.
wanted to go ahead and teach kids as young as kindergarten about sex.
Right.
There's different levels. They're saying a lot are mad about it. They didn't agree with that, but the way they see, YouTube or any other social media platforms, because it's so easy for them to get on it. They see all that
Right.
things. They see different
Right.
color flags. There's different types of people. Question that, especially at a very young age. So they want to know.
Right. Right. And I agree. That's why
So how I mean,
I
how would
don't.
you
You know,
suggest?
to be honest, I don't know. I feel like it's you just have to make yourself aware. So as it's
Because now
unfortunate.
it's just
You know,
male and female. It's like female and non-binary. There's people out there that don't see themselves as male or female.
and I think those people, you know, God bless them. You feel me? In whatever way you want to think, you can do that. Is that's how things are now, and you can be respected for it and make your own opinion out of whatever. You know, I don't really necessarily agree with the kid thing only because, like I said, I want my kids to have normal childhoods. I don't want my kids being bombarded with new gender identities when they know they have a mom and a dad and brothers and sisters or whatever the fuck it may be. I do not want my kids' mentality, spirituality, or anything else bent out of shape or proportion to fit you in it when you don't really even exist in reality anyway. Why do I need to even care that much to let my child at 4 or 5 years old be programmed with what the fuck you want them to be programmed with? You feel what I'm saying? Now, adults, young adults, yes, those are the people that are about to enter the fucking world and create the new world. You feel me? That's when things should be somewhat integrated to a degree where socially these people live this type of, sexual lifestyle or whatever the fuck. What if aliens land here or ETs decide to come out of the fucking hollow earth or some shit and decide they want to live amongst us as themselves and shit? And now we have to integrate with them. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right. How do you
You feel me? And yeah, okay, let's do that then, and that's cool. Like, but for me, the children is silly. Like, they got this shit all in the fucking the kids shows and shit. It's just silly. It's just unnecessary for me. Like, the children don't need to really deal
see
with that. They don't. You know. I don't know. I just don't think the children need to be dealing with that shit. It's silly.
changing
Even trying
everything?
to
If you
make it.
see now, like commercials,
Yeah, like it's silly. It just gets to the point where we're being, anti-progressive. What is a child going to do for you? What's a child going to do to push, the conglomerate of, trans people forward or whoever the fuck else? Like, we shouldn't be pushing sex to children at all. They should know they're a man or a woman. They should know they have a man, a father and a mother. You know what I mean? Parents, and this is what happens in life. Now, whatever choices that they decide to do beyond that may be their choice at 20 and 19, 18, whatever it may be. But let's deal with that when you're of those ages. Because then you can somewhat make a rational decision for yourself and decide sexually this sounds interesting or
but if
intriguing,
they
or
but if they're
it doesn't,
implementing it, they're implementing in a lot of their kids shows, like even Disney movies and stuff like that. They're trying to bring out where there's a girl that falls in love with another girl, or they even have
Right.
like Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man became bisexual. There's
He did.
everything where even commercials where they have, if you pay attention to commercials, they have the gay couple adopting a child, in the commercial. So things are just different, and so that's what everything's being
Mm.
exposed to our children.
And I agree.
I mean,
The problem though be
it's like
people be too accepting of certain shit.
or
I'm accepting of anybody. But the problem be y'all accepting too much of certain shit when it comes down to the children in the first place. Like, all this shit. Like, I don't want my kids knowing about going to the Marines at 10. I mean, what? I don't want them niggas. Like, no. I don't want them involved in none. A lot of this goofy shit that's going on. I don't want my kids know about this goof ass shit. You know what I'm saying? But they use these impressionable minds. That's what I'm saying. Like at 18, you can rationalize a little bit about certain stuff, especially sexually. You've already known, you know what you're attracted to. You know what turns you on, what turns you off. So sexually, you can make certain decisions in a rational mind to know in the immediate you know, time frame, this probably may not affect me. On a long term scale, maybe, you know, anybody can maybe make a mistake in that type of thinking. You might think you know, but you may change your mind. That's long term. So if you get on camera and have sex with somebody and it's somebody, you know, whoever from whatever point of life, it could be whoever race or whatever, but it's something that you really want to do or whatever scenario that's kind of out there. But at the time, you think it's a good choice. Later on, you might be like, "Fuck, I fucked this, fat person or some shit on camera for 10 grand, and now I'm 30 and I don't have a dollar of that shit, and that shit don't mean nothing to me. But I'm on camera doing this shit, it lives on forever. So that's why I'm like, okay, in 18, 19, you might be able to make some rational choices, but even then, you're like somewhat impressionable still when you don't know shit. So what you think a 12-year-old is gonna think when you're trying to introduce to them trans topics and shit? Like what?
They're gonna be. That's the thing. They'll be very curious about it. I mean, as a child, you're curious about everything, so it's something
Yeah,
that they will want to go ahead and learn about,
yeah, I
especially if
get
it's
it.
brought up to their. So, I mean,
I get it.
it's something again.
I don't know. I get it. But, specifically with the kids, it just, that's how I feel. And I feel like it's only going to get worse with the kids. You feel where I'm coming from? I really don't want to have my kids in public school, to be honest with you. And that's really where I'm geared up to go with the shits. I had some family members. They were publics. They were, homeschooled and shit. Turned out perfectly fine. You feel what I'm saying? And is whatever. They're productive people of society, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm kind of opting out of that shit because I just see where all this bullshit's finna go.
Right. And
You know what
again,
I'm
it's
saying?
not something. It's not about keeping them away from public schools, but also you're gonna see it on movies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's changing all over. That's the thing. It's something that in every type of way, from movies to, uh, like I say, even children's movies. They have them in commercials and all that stuff. So they're
All right.
changing where they could go ahead and please the community, the the audience.
There's
And
nothing
so
wrong with that.
that,
There's nothing wrong with that. I
no,
think the
but it's
problem is,
to you what you want to decide for your kids to watch. That's the
yeah, the,
thing.
the kid shit is
It's like
crazy.
any.
Yeah, cause hmm the kid shit is crazy though.
You gotta make sure you know what you're doing. If you don't want them to watch certain things, then that's what you're gonna do, right? You're gonna make sure that they don't watch certain things.
Yeah, people. I don't know. I already got to start, pivoting my kids towards other shit right now because I don't like everything that they watching, and I like that they have learned stuff, and that, these are their first little moments of you know watching TV or shit like that, which all kids gonna do. And nothing wrong with that shit, but I'm already trying to pivot them in a whole nother direction now because I already see where this shit's going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm mindful of that too. But because they got the gay couples and the kids shows now. Well, I got two daddies and two mommies and shit, and it be like, bruh, I feel you, but my kid don't need to think or worry about that type of shit. He doesn't need to know that. If you got two daddies, that's fine, bro. My kid don't need to know, and he don't really need to deal with it. He's 4. What's he gonna do with that knowledge that you got two daddies? Fuck he gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? Fuck he gonna do with anybody talk about they got a mommy dad. Okay, cool, great. What does that do for him? Don't do shit for him. Why he need to know about that? You know what I'm saying? Hmm. Smoke break.